what next is a very good question. And what we want to do is we want to keep it simple. And we don't want it overly complex. And the main focus right now that we envision are energy efficiency retrofits of our public schools up and down the state of California. Why? Because we want to create jobs, number one. We've talked a lot about the green economy, the green energy. For a lot of folks, that's very abstract. It's almost like 10,000, 30,000 feet. There's a lot of folks who haven't seen a real correlation yet in terms of real big job creation. I just got back from Washington, D.C. last night, and sometimes it takes you to leave the state and look from the outside in to sort of see what you've accomplished. And I will say this, is that there's nowhere in the country, nowhere even remotely close, has anyone come close, not even in Washington, D.C., to accomplishing what we just did on November 6th with Prop 39. It doesn't even come close. So what we want to do is we want to create jobs. We want to create jobs for those who've been unemployed chronically. We want to create jobs for those who've been marginalized. A lot of Latinos, a lot of African Americans. We have to get them involved in this green economy and create real tangible jobs. Number one, we can do that because we know it's labor intensive. These aren't jobs that you can outsource, offshore, export to Mexico or to Guangzhou, China, or anywhere else. These are jobs that must be done on site, number one. So we want to, this has the potential to be one of the biggest job economic stimulators that this state has seen in a long, long time. Two, like what Ruben said and Mary Leslie said also too, if we focus investments in our public schools up and down the state of California, what we do is, and let me give you an idea. Give me a ballpark figure off the top of your head how much LA Unified School District spends on an annual basis on electricity costs. $1 million? We got $1 million. Okay. 1.6 million? It's like the price is right. Someone's going to say 1.7 next. Okay. I'll take one more. 10 million. So we got 1 million, 1.6 million, and 10 million from Jim Stewart, the Sierra Club. What we spend on an annual basis for electricity costs for LA Unified School District. Let me give you the accurate number. It's $109 million that LA Unified School District spends, not on energy costs in the aggregate. That doesn't include gas. That's electricity, $109 million. Electricity costs just for LA Unified School District. Remember, we're the second largest school district in the country after New York. So we're going to have a lot of heavy costs, especially older buildings, just sucking up energy. So what we want to do, as Mary Leslie just underscored, which is really critical, if we can retrofit all these public schools up and down the state of California, we can take all that energy cost savings and invest it back into the classroom. Just think about LA Unified School District. If we save conservatively 25% energy electricity costs for LA Unified School District, that's about $28 million. We could say we want that $28 million invested in after-school programs, particularly in schools where there's a lot of children of color, the poorest school districts, so those kids can have a real opportunity. We've got to think very intelligently about this. And lastly, what I want to underscore is that the state of California, the voters, each and every one of you, and as well as Republicans and Independents and other Democrats, they have put their faith in us to make sure that we get the most bang for the buck, to make sure there's transparency, to make sure there's accountability, to make sure, in fact, that we do retrofit these buildings, in fact, that we do create real jobs, and in fact, we can measure quantifiably that we have real energy costs and we've reduced our carbon footprint. That is a big task, and we have to do this intelligently, because what we don't want is we don't want the scandal about the contractor who doubled down, who tripled down, who quadrupled down, the change order, the big scandal, the Solyndra, because folks will politicize this project. So we have a wonderful opportunity not just to create jobs, reduce our carbon footprint, and to reduce energy costs and take that money and invest it back into our public schools. But we have a wonderful opportunity to restore the public's faith in government again, and we cannot lose that opportunity.
That is so well said. The idea, you know, everybody is competing to reduce taxes and so on and so forth across the country. It was a main issue in the presidential campaign. Well, you know, energy efficiency is like giving a school district, a family, the community a tax break each and every year. From the day it's installed, it creates that flow of benefits forward. So it's amazing. And Mary Leslie, when you were talking about the superintendent, it reminded me of a similar jaw-dropping experience I had recently, where the president of Harvard was stood up to give a review of his investment portfolio, and he said the single best investment that they have made over the last 5 years is energy efficiency. Better than the hedge funds, better than the market, you know, is energy efficiency. So I think you'll be demonstrating that for the world. So last question before we open it to Q&A is I'd like you all to weigh in on what do you need from everybody here to make sure that the full intent and amazing wild success of Prop 39 happens.
Well, I think that getting everyone's input is really critical. There's a lot of wonderful, great ideas stemming from retrofitting public schools up and down the state of California. Taxpayers see it, it's real, it's tangible. They interface with public schools every day. The idea and concept of an energy efficiency bank for the lack of capital that exists out there. There's billions of dollars of capital that's on the sidelines, but there's a lot of folks who are a little gun shy to get into the game. So all these ideas we have to hear from each and every one of you. Some folks have said to us, you know, we want to make sure that where the public schools are at, we want to make sure those folks, whether it's South LA or East LA or East Oakland or East San Jose, we want those folks to be employed as well too. And that is critical, at-risk youth employment, training these folks. If you're not going to go to college, well, guess what? There's no reason why you can't get a very good vocational job that pays a very good salary. So investing in this community so we can reduce our carbon footprint, we've got to get the input from each and every one of you. So as we draft our language and we move forward with legislation to how to actually appropriate the dollars, it'll be really, really critical to hear from everybody and get your input. So I'm all ears, you know, and you can contact us. One thing too, I should say, starting in January, I am going to conduct a series of hearings up and down the state of California, in the Bay Area, as well as Los Angeles and Central Valley and San Diego and Orange County. Well, you'll have an opportunity, the public, to come in, give us your feedback so we can make sure we do this right.
Yeah, I just want to say, Senator, I think that's right, and thank goodness you're going on a road show, because I think a lot of people don't know what Prop 39 was. It was a little bit under the radar, thank goodness. And so education is going to be critical, and I don't suppose we should remind the governor we want this used for the intended purpose. That wouldn't hurt. like no debt reduction with this money. We actually want energy efficiency investment, right? Okay, that's it. And the only other thing I was thinking is, you know how the federal government issued that challenge out of the Department of Education, right, for each of the school districts in the United States. I forget what it's the academic program that each school district had to meet. But it might be fun as the largesse of the money is handed out, if we could get each of these schools and districts to think about how they can bring this in as an educational part of the curriculum, because if you think about it, these are the jobs of the future. And I know we have some programs that are starting to pop up in LAUSD for energy efficiency, but maybe this is a natural lead to you, Ruben.